Well, it may have been 17 years ago, but many people who travel by plane still sit with a level of anxiety following the 9/11 attacks of 2001. Any
Right.
disturbance or anything unexpected on a plane trip can be enough to send a shiver up the spine. So, spare a thought for our next
Yeah.
guest who ended up slapping another passenger in the face when adrenaline kicked in. Nick Steffl, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
You got a chuckle in your voice, so there is some humour to this story. Although, as we're about to
Yeah,
find
of
out, at the
course.
time, not so much. You were flying an Alaska Airlines flight from Seattle to Alaska when your ordinary trip became anything but ordinary. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, I was kind of in the focus zone listening to a new audiobook I just gotten because I was kind of distracted by this guy's actual iPad. He and another guy were kind of both watching movies on their iPads, and so I was distracted. So I was trying to just kind of focus on the back of my seat with the audiobook on full blast. And then all of a sudden I heard this guy just full volume, like whooping and hollering at the front of the plane. And I look over, I'm on the aisle seat. I look over and I look ahead and he's butt naked, like moving forward to the front of the plane or the cockpit, whatever you want to call it, and totally naked. And so I was freaked out. I thought something was going on. Anything unusual on a plane is just not fun to experience.
Now,
Your mind kind of wanders to
Nick,
whatever could have happened. It's one thing if it's like a sporting event. You know, I've been to a baseball game where there was a streaker on the field and it was a blast. Everybody thought it was hilarious. But this was on an airplane. This like the last place to go streaking is where this guy chose to go streaking.
so what happened?
No, not at all.
How did you become involved? You,
No,
you didn't just go back to your audiobook.
no, God, no. And that's happening. Like, I really thought it could have been like some kind of attack, like something that unusual and odd. I mean, I just had to think something was going on. And so he comes like towards the back of the plane again. I'm probably 4 rows from the very back. So I unbuckle my seatbelt and I get in the aisle and I just get in front of him. He stops in front of me and I'm pretty aggressively asking him what he's doing, telling him to get some clothes on, and then he asks me, like he just thinks it's just a good old fun joke, and he asks me if I like his pecker, and that's when I like kind of instinctively just slapped him in the face, and just kind of like wanted to get this guy in line and like not make a joking, make a joke out of this. Like this is a flight, we're 30,000 feet in the air. So
So you weren't
slapped
seeing
him
this
and
as a
then
joke at the time, Nick. This was not a joke at the time. Like when you slapped him and he'd asked you, "What do you think of my dick?" or whatever he said to you,
yeah.
were you not taking this with a sense of humour? This you were angry, weren't you?
Oh, I was super angry because it was just because of the nature of it. If it were anywhere else, like I said, if this were a baseball game, a park, if it were anywhere but an airplane, I probably would have thought this kid was really, really funny. But at the moment, I thought, no way, like this is not happening. So I, like, without even thinking, I just slapped the guy, and then like a moment later, a guy came behind him and like got his arms behind his back and started moving him to the back of the plane where like I guess all the flight attendants were. They were just ready to like strap him in a chair. So he mentioned something about how he had just seen The Disaster Artist. I'm the disaster artist, and then was joking around like, oh, who's ready for round two, and makes comments about the size of his dick and all this stuff. And it was kind of funny. At that point, it was pretty funny. Everybody was either thinking this guy's crazy. Looking back on it now, I think he was just on drugs. He seemed like a really normal guy, like a very just a normal looking guy. And I think like he didn't look crazy. I think he was just on
He
something.
was drunk or something
On
like that. He had maybe sampled the
Definitely not drunk. It had to be some kind of drugs. Like
ah.
I don't know what, but it had to be some kind of, because he wasn't slurring his speech. Like his eyes weren't glazed over or anything. It was like he had to be on some kind of drug.
But I'm interested. When you slapped him, didn't he become aggressive back?
No, that was kind of that was the funny part, man. I slap him and he says, "Oh yeah, I like it." Like he's still in funny mode at that point. And then
Wow.
The guy takes him. I think it was his dad that like put his arms behind his back and like he seemed pissed. He said something like, I forget what the kid's name was, but say it was Kenny. He's like, "Oh, damn it, Kenny, can knock it off." And then he like takes him to the back of the plane.
I love it. I love it. How old was this dude?
He was probably, I think he's like 22.
Do you know what happened to him after the flight?
No idea. The rest of us got off the plane, and then I'm assuming that, according to the news article that I read about the whole thing, he was taken. I think he was taken to a local hospital.
Probably exactly what he needed. He asked you, Nick.
Yeah.
He asked you, Nick, what you thought of his dick. What did you think of his dick?
I didn't think much of it, man. I thought he was just being an idiot that needed to like not cause like commotion and panic on a plane. Like I said, it's just the worst thing you could do, man. Like especially in the U.S. Like
He didn't make you feel inadequate.
no, he didn't. Nothing to write home about. Yeah, I would call it small.
Wow, that is brave.
I still don't know what to think of it sometimes, but it's been a hell of a story. Like, as soon as I got off the plane, I was texting all my friends, like, I just slapped a naked guy on a plane. But, I mean, holy cow, no one would expect that to happen, man. Just crazy.
I love it. I love it. Yep, like you say, not everyone wakes up, catches a plane, and expects to be slapping a naked man in the process. Good on you, Vo. Good on you, Vo, my friend. You handled it well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh, my God.
Take care.